Good morning. Hello. Is anybody there? Just punched the tripod. There's always a little bit of a lag at the start of the YouTube videos or when you're doing a live, so I will just talk nonsense for a moment. So welcome to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel. My name's Connie. I am a furniture painter. I'm also a Dixie Belle brand ambassador. I'm live here every Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. my time, which I'm based in the UK, over there, early morning in the US. Hi, Sue. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. So I have got a new piece behind. I'm going to start it with you today. I'm going to very kind of loosely put some colours on and some texture. So it's got some inlaid detail on the front, as you can see. Now, the prep for this was a clean, a scuff sand, and that's it. I'm not going to prime because I need to see some of the wood poking through. And the reason for that is how the drawers run. So they are obviously sitting, the drawers sit on this kind of piece here, and if I paint all of that, obviously when the drawers pulled out, it's going to catch on this bit here, so it's going to be a bit distressed, some of the wood peeking through. I could use Clear Boss, which would give me the kind of insurance for any bleed through, and it'd also allow me to see the wood because it's clear, but I'm not going to. I'm going to live life on the edge because, you know, why not? So I've got a colour palette here. Like I say, this is the beginning. And quite often, especially when I've got a loose idea of what I want to do, but not a dead set idea of what I want to do, quite often things change along the way. So what you see now may not be what you see for the finished thing, but that's just how it goes. So the colours that I've got at the minute are Antebellum Blue. It's been ages since I've used that. Cobalt Blue and Mermaid Tail. So we're going for a bluey kind of theme. I've also got Sea Spray. So this is a texture additive. It's a powder that you can buy in a big old pouch like this because I use it a lot, or you can buy it in a tub of that size, so it's a little bit more affordable for you if you're only going to use it a little bit. And I've got a load of natural bristle brushes here. So I'm just going to start. My original plan for today was to go outside as it was last week. But the weather here at the moment is absolutely shocking. Considering we're in July, it is shocking. So we're not going outside. It's raining. I was going to do a little project with you out there, but it's raining, so we can't. So we're in here starting this. And this is exciting because this is a cool piece. Can't wait for the comments to come in on this piece. I've had some troll comments recently, so hopefully this should spark a few. So I'm going to take my cobalt blue, and in here, I can't see, there's about that much paint. So it's that full from the bottom. There's not much paint at all. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Sea Spray. Not too much, a little bit more. And then I'm going to mix it up like this. And the reason I'm using a bit of texture is because this inlaid detail on the front, you can actually feel it. So if I was to do a really smooth finish, I would either have to really sand that smooth so that you couldn't see it, or kind of fill it in some way. But it is quite prominent. Like I can feel it when I run my hand over it, which generally means if you can feel it, you are going to be able to see it through the paint. So I'm gonna use texture because texture is where it's at. So I'm just gonna thicken this up slightly, maybe a little bit more, Also, by the way, I am 3 subscribers off 7,000 subscribers on my own YouTube channel. Now that ain't a patch on what Dixie Belle have got here. Okay, so I'm relying on some of you people that don't subscribe to my channel to go and subscribe so that I can get to 7,000 by the end of the day. That'd be lovely. I've just posted a little blended green blended video. That went up yesterday, so that's something new you can go and have a look at. So that's my cobalt blue. Now I feel like I want that to be the main colour at the moment, or do I? I don't know. I'm just going to whack it on and see what happens. So I'm going to be using all natural bristle brushes for the texture. So traditionally speaking, your synthetic bristles are going to give you a smooth finish, although you can get a textured finish with them as well. And your natural bristle brushes are going to give you a little bit more texture. So I am going to use them because they are going to help me get the texture. Thank you, Teresa. I'm glad you like the blended piece. This is not going to be as elegant. This is going to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more funky. I really don't know how it's going to kind of go, but I just knew that I needed to get some colour on it, and I don't even know if I'm going to get this finished before I go away. I've only got one more live, or have I got 2 more lives? I can't actually remember the day we go away. But I've only got a couple more lives before we go away, and we're away for 2 weeks. So I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to get done before then. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Also, my kids break up from school this week, Friday this week. So they're going to be around, which means, generally speaking, you get less work done. Well, I do anyway. I just know I want this blue and textured at the minute. I've got absolutely... I have got an idea. That's a lie. That's a big fat lie. I have got an idea of what I want to do. I just want to make it... I just want to start getting some colours on there. I'm going to take mermaid tail next, and I'm going to put some on a plate because that tub's nearly full. Again, I'm going to add some sea spray on it. I'm going to use the other end of my stick, like so. Mix it all together, making a mess. That's what I enjoy doing the most. What is everybody up to today? Are you painting? Are you... I mean, you're probably not. It's probably too early to start thinking about that kind of thing. I've had the old hairdo done today. I've had a haircut and a little bit of colour, because the amount of grey hairs that I have got in my head at the minute is unbelievable. So I have some blonde put in at the front to kind of break it up. I've always been a dark brown hair girly. Seeing me with light hair is bizarre. Although I have had it like this for quite a while now. But yeah, I do miss my brown hair. It's very hot in Maryland. Yeah, I've heard most places in the world are hot at the moment, apart from the UK, which is great. Okay, so I've got some mermaid tail, and I'm just going to go in with that as well. Need a little bit more. And I'm just going to add some like random colour in random places. If it overlaps the cobalt blue, that's a good thing. I don't want this to kind of blend too much together, but I do kind of want to mix them a little bit. Obviously, this is only the first coat, so anything could happen. Anything could happen. But what I do know is I do not want like a smooth kind of blend like the video I've just posted. That was more of a kind of a smoother blend, so I didn't add any texture medium in that at all. I just used paint, and I used a little bit of water to make sure that they were kind of nice and mixed together. Although it was more of a kind of a smoky kind of blend, it's not a perfect blend, because that ain't my bag. But But yeah, it was a smoother blend than this. This is going to hold a lot more texture. Just going to put a bit of the cobalt blue here. I don't know what I'm going to do down the sides yet. I've no idea. Not sure. And I've got a dog to the left of me, my little dog, my old dog. She is asleep, but she also is a snorer. So if you hear snoring in the background, just know that it's my dog. So I'm just going to kind of, like I say, melt those together. And whether I go back in with the second coat, once I've got the texture down, if I go back in with my second coat and then not add any more texture on top of that, I don't know. I don't know. I know what I'm going to do. I don't know. I just know I wanted it blue and a little bit funky. So like I say, the prep to this was actually super, super simple. Even though it was a really kind of quite shiny finish. Dixie Belle White Lightning, which is their cleaning product, took all of the gloss out of this. Good morning / afternoon, hello to you too. It took all of the gloss out of this, and I only had to go over the top of it really quickly with my electric sander to just kind of make it sort of smooth. There was some bits that were sticking up, and also I just wanted to try and flatten that down as much as I could. But the prep took me like 20 minutes or something. Like really, really quick prep. Didn't need to take long at all. And like I said at the start of the video, I'm not priming this. I haven't primed this. And the reason for that is because I am probably going to distress it and I want to see the wood poking through. You can use Clear Boss in that situation. And if I was going to be using any kind of light colours, then I would definitely prime. But the colours I'm using are quite dark. Probably not this one, but they are quite dark, so I haven't primed. Also, in true Faff Design style, I'll be adding wax to this, black wax, and plenty of it. That I do know. So when you seal with wax, so a lot of the time bleed through happens at the top coat stage. Antebellum blue is lovely. That's the colour that I'm using next. And this colour palette, these three blues together, I don't know what it is. I could just eat them. They are delicious. So a lot of the time when you get bleed through, that happens at the point of the top coat. So when you apply a water-based top coat on your piece, it basically pulls the stain through into the paint. You might not even see bleed through until that stage. It varies from piece to piece. There's no set rule, but quite often that is the case. A lot of people think it's the top coat that has made the piece yellow. It's not. It's the stains like bleeding through. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. It's the stains bleeding through from the top coat being applied. It like pulls them through into the paint. So when you use wax, that doesn't happen because it's not a water-based top coat. So if you use wax, you're less likely to get bleed through. But if you are going to, I'm going to be using wax for the main body of this, possibly varnish on the top, like a clear coat on the top, just for a little bit extra kind of protection. But I don't know yet. The piece that I just did, which is the green piece that I just did, the blended piece, that had a combination of both. So that had wax on the entire piece except for the top, which I did in clear coat, because clear coat just offers slightly more protection than a wax and a little bit more durability. So I did, it's absolutely fine if you want to mix and match. You don't, just because you've done clear coat on the top, it doesn't mean you have to do clear coat for the rest of it. And by the time I had put like my brown wax on and those kind of things, you can't even tell a difference between the sheen levels. A lot of people say, oh, can you tell if it's shinier on the top or whatever? It's not really. You can't really tell a massive difference. And I always put it in my description as well. I always, you know, because obviously I sell all my pieces, I always put in the description the thing that I've sealed it with, or the top coat or whatever. And if I've done obviously a wax finish on the body and a clear coat on the top, I always put that so people know that are buying it what it is that I've kind of finished it with, if you like. And don't forget, Dixie Belle Chalk mineral paint, which is the paint that I'm using at the moment, it doesn't actually need to be sealed because it is actually really durable. Most people do put a top coat over the top of it for like a sheen or to add a little bit more extra protection and to make sure that it's easy to clean. But you don't have to seal it. It's really, really durable. So usually just a little bit of wax is absolutely fine. So the chances are, going back to bleed through, the chances of me getting bleed through on this, because I'm putting wax on the main body, are quite slim. Never say never, but they're slim. Like I say, I don't know what I'm doing here. This could take a drastic turn. This could turn out completely differently to what I'm starting with, but I just thought I'd have a little bit of a play around today and just get some colour on it. Get some colour, and then sometimes what I do is just leave it for a little bit and see what happens. See if I like it. Just, yeah, let it sit for a little bit. And do something else. If you follow me on social media, you know that I've just got a hair here. You know that well, if you follow me on social media, you might know. You won't definitely know because you might not have seen my stuff. Last week I picked up an IKEA style cabinet for a grand total of £1. £1. My charity shop, I've had it for a while, and it was up originally at £10, and it's not something that I'd look twice at, even at £10, which is still pretty cheap. It's just a little cabinet. It's not real wood. It's got a horrible white glossy finish on it. It's not attractive in any way, shape or form. It's got quite a nice shape. I'll give it that. I'm looking at it now over there. It's got quite a cute shape, and I do like odd little cupboards. I must admit, I do. But it's the typical kind of IKEA style, so it's that white glossy kind of finish. And like I say, wouldn't even usually look twice at something like that in the charity shop because it's just not my thing. I know there's people out there that do like IKEA style furniture and like flipping it, but it's just not my thing. But I will not resist a bargain. £1. You can't even get a bottle of water for £1. So what did I do? I obviously bought it. And I'm going to challenge myself. Now, because it is not something that I ordinarily would go for, I'm going to challenge myself to do it. I'm going to challenge myself to give it a makeover and basically see what happens. Now, it might turn out absolutely horrendous, but I do enjoy a challenge. So I'm going to probably put some paint on this and then go and do my IKEA cabinet and do that before I carry on with this. Because it's a smaller piece and I'm more likely to get it done before I do this, because I know what this piece is going to be like. It's just going to be one of those that you kind of sit on for a while. It might change direction. I might add some different colours. Pretty sure I'm going to keep with the blue colour scheme, but I might even change the placement of them. I don't know, but at least I've got some colour on here, and it's going to be the palette that I'm going to stick with. I'm definitely going to be sticking with these 3 colours. Whether I add extra colours on top of these, who knows? Who knows? Definitely not me at this stage. But I just wanted to have a play around with the kind of placement. And although I've put sea spray in, it's not overly textured. This isn't going to be like a kind of chippy look. It's not going to be that kind of style. I just want a little bit of movement in the colours and in the surface. Just so that when I do add my coloured waxes at the end, it's kind of got that little bit of texture to kind of hold a little bit of the coloured wax or so on. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I don't. I just know I needed texture, and obviously to cover that inlay detail on the front. There's also some inlay detail on the sides and the top as well. It's kind of like got the traditional border on the top and sides. So yeah, needed to cover that up. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see who comes for me for ruining an antique. It's not an antique, by the way. Not that that actually matters, because I will paint anything. You put it in front of me and I'll paint it. But it hasn't got real wood bases. They're ply back. Yeah, it's like a pressed board with a veneer over the top. So it's not even that desirable. Definitely wasn't in the state that it was in. That's for sure. So, just to recap, this deeper blue teal is antebellum blue. The mid blue is cobalt blue, and this is mermaid tail. The other thing that helps is to sometimes take a step back as well, because I'm right close up to this. Sometimes if you take a step back, you can gain kind of a different perspective on it and stuff. But that is kind of how it's looking at the moment. Now, I'm a big fan of this kind of area here. This is a bit rough up here. But this I quite like. I quite like this. I'm looking at it on screen rather than in real life. I do like how cobalt blue and mermaid tail blend together. They make a really pretty blend. Like I say, I'm not crazy about this bit here, but this is the first coat. This is the first coat. It doesn't really matter that much where the placements are. It does look a little bit like an ocean wave, doesn't it? It does. And I just don't know if I need more of the antebellum blue maybe over here, or less of the antebellum blue here. Might bring the cobalt over a bit more. Who knows? Who knows? But I just thought I'd give you that snippet into the starting point of this. And then you can see it when it finishes up, and hopefully it'll be not a million miles away from this, but it may have changed. And obviously there will be a YouTube video of this. I've got the video recorded up here now. So there will be a full YouTube video of this. So if you see the finished thing and you want to know how I got from here to there, you'll be able to see the process in between. And that's where I'm going to leave it today, guys, because I have got to go and get my kiddos, and I've got to take them to another school for an athletics tournament in the rain. So that's going to be absolutely great. I'm going to have Herbie, who's going to be, I'm hungry, I need the toilet, I'm hungry, I need the toilet, I'm hungry, I need the toilet, I'm bored, can we go home? I'm going to have him. And then we're going to have Nancy, who's in the tournament. Yeah, and she'll be angry if she doesn't win anything, because she's not great at losing. So it's going to be a great evening. It's going to be a great evening. So I better go and get cleaned up. I better make myself look respectable if we're going to another school. Clean myself up with this blue paint and go and get the kids. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a fabulous day. And I will see you next week. Bye.